Hey guys, Automatic Garage back today. We have a customer here in the shop from Missouri, Columbus, Missouri? Columbia, Missouri. Anyways, what you said, what, 6 hours? And what he drove here was this 29,000 original mile 6.0 that we're gonna put a U.S.A. oil cooler in, and we're getting ready to pull the block plugs here once it cools off enough for me to handle it and flush it out. And I wanted to make a video on this because once I just rolled underneath it a minute ago, you could eat off the bottom of this motor. So I thought y'all would be impressed with how clean it is and how nothing has been messed with. So we're not gonna go through the whole process, but we're gonna show some stuff with it. What are we doing?
We're flushing out the coolant system with warm water.
We got the block plug on the driver's side removed. We got the block heater on the passenger side removed. That way you can leave the starter. That's hot water coming directly out of my hot water tank, running through the system. He had already run VC9 and an additional garden hose water flush before he brought it here. So this is just a good final flush to make sure we have anything out of the block. We're gonna do this, let it drain, fill it up with distilled water, do that for just a second, pull the block plugs again, and drain all that distilled water out. And then we're good to go to tear this down and get into doing this oil cooler. What are we doing?
Eating chips.
Eating chips. What are we really doing?
We are flushing the coolant system with distilled water right now.
Well, why do we do that?
And we know that there's no trash in the block before we pull the plug.
And we know that whatever residual water in there ain't got no minerals or fluoride or...
Ain't got no fluoride, ain't got no spring.
So yeah, we're gonna let this run for just a minute with distilled water, drain it, and then we'll tear everything down. All right, we are down to our EGR and our oil cooler. So this can all be done on late 04 and up without removing the turbo. The key is just take your compressor housing off, and those usually are not very tight to begin with. There's only one that's hard to get to on the bottom. You pull that off, and that allows you to take the intake, lift it up, and turn it this way just a little bit and slide it right out. So I try to do that, especially on these jobs where I'm trying to do a quick turnaround for somebody that's come from out of town to have an oil cooler. As long as their up pipes and stuff aren't leaking, there's no need in us removing the turbo. Just leave it in place, leave it alone. So we're gonna pop this EGR cooler out real quick and pull the oil cooler out, and then we'll be ready to start cleaning and reassembling. We're all apart and we're all prepped to going back together. We got the EGR going back in. It's been worked on. It's going back in. That's all cleaned up, nice and clean. Don't use blue shop towels to rub around on there. It's okay to use it to sop some stuff up, but don't rub it around. It's rough. You'll just have a whole bunch of fuzz in there. You don't want that. Clean your bolt holes out, blow them out so you get a good torque. Clean your gasket surface area. So when we come back from lunch, we're gonna clean the oil cooler cover assembly and get the new oil cooler mounted and ready to go in here. All right, we're all cleaned out, new screen. I do pre-fill that with oil just to enough that it doesn't get pushed out when you put the new oil cooler in, since we got everything cleaned up. We got our new oil cooler assembly and gaskets all in. Give that a blow off with the blowgun real quick, make sure it's clean. Put it in, torque it to 18 foot-pounds. All right, we are all together. Mishimoto coolant filtration also. New ELC coolant, 540 Rotella. And we're ready to crank her over. Probably be a little bit of a long start, or it's gonna crank up for a second, probably die, then a long start, and then run just fine because of the oil that we drained out of it. But let's give her a crank. Look at this interior, so clean. All right, everybody clear? You'll notice the low pressure oil is not up yet.
Are you gonna prime and fuel filters?
Oh, well, forgive me. I didn't do the fuel filters, Bubba did, and I was not even thinking about fuel filters while we did this. At least not the lower one. we go. Low pressure pump just got to work for a minute because there's a little bit of a void in there, even though I kind of pour some oil in and kind of prime it. But just let her run. We're going to check all of our levels. We should be good to go then. Okay. Have a safe drive back, buddy.
Thank you so much.
We enjoyed having you. Got a nice truck.
Thank you.
All in a day's work, right?
It is.
It's time for you to go home.
I'm about there. As we get all this bullshit.
All right, guys, this is Automatic Garage signing out. So, oil cooler, worked on the EGR, Blue Spring mod, fresh ELC coolant, oil change, fuel filters. Am I missing anything?
Coolant filtration?
Yeah, Mishimoto coolant filtration. Anyways, all in a day's work. Y'all check out our other content on the channel. We appreciate y'all watching. Check us out at automaticgarage.com, Facebook, and Instagram. If you're looking for somebody to work on your power stroke, you can look up our contact info on the website. If this channel has helped you out, or you like supporting content like this, or you just want to contribute to the channel, you can check out our Patreon right here. I'll put the link in the description also. It's Automatic Garage signing out. We'll holler at y'all later.